Well, welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're just going to be taking a look at the Joker. There's been a lot of updates over the past few days because of course it is having its world premiere at the Venice Film Festival next week. So 1 week's time the world would have seen the Joaquin Phoenix, Todd Phillips, The Joker movie, and they are releasing an awful lot more stuff. We now have officially an R rating. The R rating itself is not really a surprise, but it's really good to hear. You know, if anyone's seen the trailer, it lends itself to be an R rating. So I'm not surprised, but I am happy and I am glad that it's an R rating because, of course, it means it's not going to be watered down at all. Now, the official website for the Joker is an R rating because apparently it's strong, bloody violence, disturbing behaviour, and language and brief sexual images. So that's really, really good to hear. I mean, disturbing behaviour is the Joker all over. With respect to strong, bloody violence, I'm happy to hear that. We'd heard some news about it being overtly political and things like that, but strong, bloody violence, disturbing behaviour, language and all that, yeah, I'm happy with. We also got some cool new image of Joaquin Phoenix dressed up as the Joker. And again, like I said, this is kind of like a review roundup, I guess, of all the snippets of information which has dropped over the last few days. One of the stars, Marc Maron, recently appeared on Conan, and when the subject of Avengers Endgame came up, he's a chap who's obviously, you know, part of the Joker, but also Glow. He states, and he made it very, very clear, that he's not going to be bullied into watching Marvel movies because apparently they're for grown male nerd children, which is not really what you want in terms of the publicity on the lead up to your movie. He said, and I quote, "I have some issues with them and I generally don't like them. I don't want to be bullied into seeing those movies. I'm a grown up, I'm not 7, and I think those movies are for grown male nerd childs." And then obviously the audience was not best pleased with him. So he said, "Oh, really? Take the hit. You guys are in charge of culture." I mean, if this movie wasn't already kind of stacked up against some parts of, I guess, nerd and pop culture, it definitely is now with these comments. He said, "Now I've got to go travel 15 to 20 minutes to a smaller movie theatre to see a grown-up movie with other grown-ups where we can all sit together and not understand the ending. That's part of the experience where you walk out and you're like, I don't know, did the guy die? It's not clear. That's the kind of movie I enjoy. I'm not going to be bullied by grown nerd men." I just don't go see them. I'm not interested. Maybe I overdid it a little bit. He is a comedian as well, so it's not overly a surprise that that's kind of his comments. Obviously, they are somewhat comedic. But like I said, this film is touted as being anti-Trump. Thomas Wayne is supposedly a Trump-esque character. So the fact that we're now getting the additional comments on top of it, definitely going to alienate a few people. But again, it's still something I'm hugely looking forward to. I think this movie is primo. I think this is going to be great. Now, the other thing, which I think is great, is actually Todd Phillips has confirmed that he's open to a sequel. What? Which is crazy, because we didn't think that this was going to be tied to anything. But if it's getting a sequel, there is a chance now that this could start to be interwoven into something. Maybe Matt Reeves the Batman? Who knows? But it says anyway, Joker isn't a typical comic book movie, and should it find success this October, it's easy to imagine Warner Brothers changing course and releasing more artsy, Elseworld-style superhero adaptations. Of course it is. If this makes money, and it's going to because it was made on a shoestring budget, very, very small budget, this film, so it will make cash, it will make a lot of money, Warner Brothers will absolutely change direction on how they approach their DC properties moving forwards. They really will. They're a business after all, and if this makes money, then they're going to continue it. They will pump out more and more. But obviously, and it says here in the article, that's not a bad thing, and I completely agree. It says shaking up the genre will definitely benefit it in the long run, and that's the thing which a lot of people don't tend to realise, is that the more players in the party, the better the party is going to be, because they each push one another to excel. This is why when people are like, "Oh, Marvel should just do everything," no, because then they're not. There's no reason to push the genre as a whole forwards. This is only happening because Warner Brothers are in charge currently of DC, and this looks to be great. So it says, now director Todd Phillips has now revealed that if star Joaquin Phoenix was open to the idea, he would be interested in taking the helm of a Joker sequel. Now, that's important for a few things, because Joaquin Phoenix is traditionally not a man that you tie down for multiple picture deals. He doesn't like that. That's why he was never signed on with Marvel. There's been a lot of movies that Joaquin Phoenix, and a lot of roles that Joaquin Phoenix have been rumoured for. Most famously and most recently, it was Doctor Strange. He was even seen purchasing comic books and doing some research on it all. But it never happened, because Marvel likes to hold people down for multi-picture deals, that's fair enough. They're a business. Of course they would want, one of their stars to return. Of course they would. They're weaving a wider universe. But Warner Brothers, obviously this is a test for Warner Brothers Studio as a whole, and also DC as a property. They have not asked him to be as a multi-picture deal, which is confirmed now by Todd Phillips by saying, if he was open to a sequel. It's not that he's contracted to do a sequel, it's if he was open to doing one. And yeah, Todd Phillips will be back on board. Todd Phillips traditionally or famously directed the Hangover movie, so he is a comedic director traditionally, but could he be good? Yes. Comedic directors or comedic minds tend to work very, very well in the serious genre because they understand timing and emotional impact. Now, the quote from Todd Phillips is, "One thing I will tell you, I would do anything with Joaquin any day of the week. There's nobody like him. If he was willing to do it, and if people show up to this movie and Warner's came to us and said, you know what, if you guys could think of something, well, I have a feeling that he and I could think of something pretty cool." So, nice confirmation there that they would come back. And again, we've got like a total film cover here, which looks great. We, in terms of like Total Film, Empire Magazine and things like that, expect a lot of information to drop soon about the Joker. Also, over here, Terminator Dark Fate. But we also have even more stuff. Like I said, this is a roundup of all of the news that's been coming out recently. Phillips did come out and confirm that the Joker is not meant to be political, but it's meant to be provocative. So everyone that's saying that there's some kind of parallel, a commentary on the Trump era of America, the intention, according to Todd Phillips, this is all spin, I'm sure, but according to Todd Phillips, was that it is not intended to be political, it's just intended to be provocative, which he is a comedic director, and I can believe that. Comedy, on a whole, is, by and large, supposed to be provocative. It's how people get their kicks most of the time. So I can believe that. And he says that, "I think there will be some 21-year-olds that go and watch it who just think it's a version of a Joker story. And that's fine too. I don't want to define it as this message movie, because it's not. But it definitely is, the same way that The Dark Knight was not a message movie, but it definitely was a post-9/11 terrorist sort of oh shit thing." I can believe that. Again, this is all from the Total Film magazine. There were some more comments. He said that there were times when I would go like, look at this effing world and how we lack empathy and real compassion and care. This is from Joaquin Phoenix, is what he said when he was asked about real life events in the news which helped him shape the character of the Joker for himself. And Joaquin Phoenix is he's had such a troubled past, really, really troubled past. If you should look into it, it's a miracle he's as an awesome actor as he is, genuinely. And he says that, "I felt like there were things that Odd and co-writer Scott," I think that's Todd, and co-writer Scott were touching on that were relevant to what we may be experiencing now. But I also felt like they weren't being didactic, and they weren't steering you towards one particular way of watching the movie and saying, this is the cause. To me, the Joker, I'm reluctant to shape the way people view this movie. There's not really a right way of looking at this film. Part of what is so fascinating about the Joker is that there isn't the specific origin. So that's really, really good to hear. And then there were some other comments where he said that there's not a specific catalyst, and so it allows us as a viewer to project our own ideas of discontent or whatever we feel onto the character. So yes, I think there are a lot of things that are relevant. I hope that people explore those things and talk about them. It's a safe way to do that, but I also feel like it's not just that. So that's nice to hear. And then again, lastly, we had another great... well, it's literally just a cover of Total Film, but I really like it. So there you go. It will be premiering next week. So expect news probably to drop Monday through to Wednesday. There will probably be a new trailer dropping as well. And the reason why I say Monday through to Wednesday, something like that, is that Warner Brothers are not going to release anything across the weekend. It's very doubtful this weekend now because we've got D23 and the internet will probably be swamped with that, and I doubt they would want to go up against it. They might do, might surprise us all, but it's unlikely. So we get an R rating, there is a possibility of a sequel, and apparently it's not meant to be political. What do you think? Let me know down below in the comments section. As always, if you are new here, make sure you hit subscribe. You can stay up to date on the world of pop culture and movie news by hitting the bell notification icon. Really, really important. Very few people are notified of my videos these days, so please do turn those notifications on. Anyway guys, if you like this video, please do give it a like and a share, and thank you so much for watching. I've been Mr. H. Take care.